Well, welcome to Leaders in Light, Love, and Legacy. We're airing every Tuesday at 6 p.m. Eastern on Fade Unite Radio. And I'm Joy Ruffen. By the way, did I say whether it's good morning, good afternoon, good day, good evening, maybe to some of you, good night. It's always a pleasure to spend time and space with you. I am your minister of enlightenment, awareness, and awakenings. Ooh, we're in a big time of awakenings. And as your signature style specialist and leadership consultant, this is a space where bold conversations ignite because we're focused on power, presence, and your purpose, and the beautiful balance of the divine, masculine and feminine. Because you know we carry both within us. So we're here to explore how we can fully align and embrace our power. So each week I'm going to be joined by a dynamic guest speaker. Whoa, today, wherever you are, who's going to bring you fresh wisdom, fierce insights, and unapologetic truth to your table. So if you're craving more style, more depth, more purpose, you've landed in the right place. I'd love for you to visit my website at joyruffen.com. That's Ruffen with an E. And make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel, Fashioning Femininity, Style, and Truth, where the conversations continue and the inspiration never, ever ends. Now, I've given you a new name, and that name is A League of Eagles, because that's why you're here, and that's who you are. So buckle in, get comfortable, and get ready to soar and meet my featured guest speaker. But before I bring her up, I want to share a little bit with you, just a little bit, because she and I are going to be chatting away about her background. April Cofie, love her name. I love the first and the last, April. She is the Loveologist, a certified interracial love coach. Now, don't we all love and need it? She's also the creator of Loving Month, the Authentic Love Academy, Interracial Love Chronicles, and the No Nonsense Saturday Love Notes. Oh my goodness. April has a name that fits her, and I could go on and on and on. She's going to share a lot with you more. But all I want you to do is sit back. But before you do, here's what she gave me, and I love this. She said, April brings grandmotherly, soothing truths with girlfriend realness, relatedness to every stage, and she doesn't sugarcoat, and that you can count on. April, as they say in the telly, on the telly, come on up. How are you?
I'm doing great, Joy, and I'm really excited about being here with you. This is just great because you have blessed me to be on my show, and I am glad to be here to assist you as well. So this is just super great.
Thank you. Well, it's a love fest here, my friend, because you and I both have this DNA. Once we have a kindness offered towards us, we never forget and we always go back. But the work that you do, April, I am in awe of it, and I don't put anybody on a pedestal. But how did you come to be the Loveologist?
Well, I had been single for several years, and I decided I wanted to get married again. So I realized that I'd been single for so long, I needed to learn about dating. So I set out to learn about dating. I started reading, I started studying, I got a dating coach, I got certified, and then it was now we got to step into the business world. So how are you going to differentiate yourself from other dating coaches or love coaches? And I was like, oh, I remembered I had a very, very good relationship with a Caucasian guy in my younger years. And I was like, "Ooh, that'll make me stand out." So that brought me into the interracial. But then I had been talking and on social for a while, and a young lady that we both know had been following me, and she had been giving me some suggestions and advice and stuff like that. And so one day she says, "What do you think about Loveologist?" And I was like, So I went and I did my little research on the word. And I was like, this is good. But what really gripped me about the word loveologist, was that I discovered it is a term that is used in Christian circles when they are teaching like classes about relationships and dating and marriage. And that really gripped my heart. And so I opened my mouth and my mouth said, April the Loveologist. And that's where I've been.
And it fits, April. It fits so well because I met you through this lovely young lady. And I have to share with you that when I met you and listened to you and observed, I knew that this was the right label and title for you. It fits. Now, you mentioned something earlier, which we're going to be talking about it the whole time here. But in your younger years, you said you had dated a Caucasian guy. So why should women consider, because you are the loveologist and interracial dating is a big part of it, but why is that a big part of your promotion and what you do and how you do it?
Like I said, I had studied and gone and gotten some coaching, and I'd really learned a lot of things, but I also learned a lot of things on my own that added to my knowledge of interracial dating. And at the age that I was like, you know what? I know a ton of women that are divorced, but if they knew what I had just learned, maybe they would go out and go back and really get the right guy this time. So I was like, yeah, let me start teaching this. And so that's what led me into being a coach, because I wanted to help women. Because even in my very young years, you know, like a child under 10, I saw so much divorce and relationship problems. But when I learned what I learned, I was just like fired up, and I just wanted to share it.
I love that. Fired up. And you know why, April? Because I'm a happy senior, but I know in my generation, it was somewhat frowned upon. And even today, with all this openness and awareness and the awakening of so many of us, it still sometimes can have a negative connotation. So I think it was very bold of you and absolutely courageous to say interracial dating can be fun, and why not? So in all of that studying that you did, what were some of the key points that you came up with why we as women, regardless of our ethnic background, ought to consider it? What nuggets and tips can you share with those who are tuning in, listening, why interracial dating can be, I don't like the word better, but can be vastly different and maybe something to look into?
Not that it's so much better. I see what you're saying, but how about it could be so much beneficial to the persons that are in the relationship?
Love that.
Because for one thing, especially professional women and women who have, as I said in a meeting the other day, made their millions. But women who have like 2 or 3 degrees or more, women who have made a substantial amount of funds, women who are forward thinking tend to be challenged when it comes to finding a gentleman in their own culture that they're compatible with. And so when you step across the line, you may find things such as what some people consider the odd things that you like, because a lot of people are not into equestrian, horseback riding. A lot of people in some cultures are not into swimming, not into tennis, not into rock climbing or caving and stuff like that. So those, what we might consider odd things that you like to do, if you step across the line, your chances of finding somebody who really loves to do those things will be higher. When it comes to the financial compatibility, when you step across the line, you might find someone that's much more compatible. But watch this. How about this? Not just compatible, but when you go across cultural lines, when it comes to the finances, you may find a guy who is confident in himself enough to be with that woman who makes the big bucks. The age thing. A lot of women, I remember for years and years and years, I was like, oh, he's got to be 3 years older than me. Because, you know, stats and stuff say that women, when we grow up faster than guys, right? Especially in our younger years, right?
Yes.
So when you're a more mature woman like we are, you might think about going about 10 years younger.
Yes.
Because you might find someone that can keep up with you.
Energy.
10 years younger. And a lot of the older men, you know, they're older, they're relaxed, they worked hard and
settled.
Yes, that right there.
I get your drift loud and clear. And April, I commend you for the word that you offered me and gave us all here to tune into. It's never about being better, but the beneficial, compatible traits and qualities that you can find if you go beyond the norm or what you're used to and go into the other. And you gave us some great examples, tennis and swimming and rock climbing and all of these things. As you began to progress mentally, emotionally, physically, and financially, you delve into other realms of fun. And so you want somebody who can have the energy and the zest for life to keep up with you. I love that. So these are great reasons why we should consider interracial dating. Now, you've already given us, but what are some of the key dynamics that show up in a successful interracial relationship? I think you already touched base, but how would you expound on that more?
I'm going to talk about this one key dynamic in interracial relationships that I personally love. And I think that a lot of other women, once they grasp it, will really want to be in this type of thing. And that is, I call it distribution of labor.
Woohoo!
Because a lot of us are used to being in relationships where it is demanded that the female totally submits in everything to the male. She can't make a lot of decisions without deferring to him or asking him or quote unquote getting his permission. But in a lot of successful interracial relationships or intercultural relationships, they have distribution of labor. And what they do is whoever is best at a certain thing, that is the person that takes the lead on that thing. So if she's good at negotiating, or if she's good at handling unkind, shall I say, types of people, then he'll let her handle it. He's going to be there to back her up now, but he's going to let her handle it. You know, these days, gentlemen have been taught by their moms how to clean their houses and do all these things. If that is his skill, then he will take care of the house. And especially if she's the one that's the higher breadwinner. So this distribution of labor, you know, a lot of us, especially back in our day, we're used to the men handling the money.
Yes, I'm guilty.
But if she's good at handling the money and he's weaker at that, he's gonna let her handle the money. And that is what I love about it. It's not the typical stereotype of gender roles. And it just works great.
April, I love this, and I tell you why, because I use constantly in the talks and the conversations that I have with people, especially women, this thing called gender and the divine masculine and feminine and the balance. So when you talk about the distribution of labor, I get that. And then you brought up something else I want you to expound a wee bit more on, take it further out into the realm where it needs to go, because we're talking a lot about interracial dating, which covers, but not in depth the way that you mentioned. It's also interculture. Big, not a big difference, but a subtle difference that makes a big difference. So expound on that a little bit, because when we talk about as you talk about distribution of labor, and I equate it to somewhat balance and how, what your strong suit, your skills are, how are you intertwining and mixing and clarifying with others what those two mean? The interracial dating and intercultural dating.
Okay. Interracial dating would be such as I was married. I'm saying this backwards. Mm-hmm. I would say interracial dating would be an intercultural relationship is what I was in when I was married. Mm-hmm. I am African American. Mm-hmm. My ex-husband is Ghanaian. He's African. Mm-hmm. But what happens is when people look at you, they think all they say is you're both Black, or they'll assume you're both African American. But no, I am from this culture. He is from the Ghanaian culture. And we celebrate and handle things a whole lot different. Yes. Interracial is more like a Caucasian person and a Black person. We're both from the United States. We're both born here. Our family heritage is from here. Mm-hmm. But I'm Black and he's white. Mm-hmm. And so that our culture is a little different, but it's more alike than it was what I had with my husband from Ghana.
Great difference. You qualified it brilliantly, because a lot of times when one thinks of an interracial marriage, they don't think of the interculture. And that can be vastly different. It can be two Black, as you just described, people, but yet they have from a different cultural background. And that makes a big, big difference. It could be you as an African American and me dating somebody from Argentina who maybe is from the cultural there. That's, all of these differences, but we don't think about that as much as we maybe ought to when we get into thinking about interracial dating. What can we do? So you're qualifying the differences is really, really good. What really makes, based on what you shared about your husband being from Guyana, I think you said Guyana?
Ghana.
What is the difference? What makes the difference in a successful interracial marriage and even interculture? What are some of the qualifying differences? You mentioned the distribution of labor. What else is there that will give that relationship substance and give it legs?
This right here is just so high on the importance scale. And that is that if you're dating someone from a different culture, you need to make sure that you two are together. You need to make sure that you build your relationship. Some people use wisdom and they build their relationship away from friends and family, because you've got to have your relationship fortified. One thing for sure, and that is that interracial or intercultural relationships are not yet the norm.
Yes.
And there are still people who feel like they need to do something about it. So you have to make sure that between the two of you, your relationship is solid. And so some people will even date 2-3 years or more to make sure that they build their relationship. And some people will date for a few years before they even tell their mother. Because they have connected, they feel like they love each other, they've learned stuff about each other. But you don't need to just learn about the culture, you've got to learn your person.
And the family.
You have to learn your person. And those I know who have worked on their relationship before they put it out in the public, their relationships are standing 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years.
Yes. And you bring into this the family. First, you get to know the person, and then you connect and relate to the family because you understand these varying differences. But April, you mentioned before, and because I'm really working on us as women, knowing who we are and balancing out that male and female energy dynamic that we have within us, and the male too. And you mentioned the mothers. Well, women, even though, it's a balanced household, the mother and the father, mothers, I heard someone say a long time ago, sons have their mother's hearts. So the sons take on a lot of the mothering, feminine energy and so on. But yet she has to be able to, or ought to be able to, give them the balance and give them that high regard and respect for femininity, for women. And if she doesn't have it herself, this is where the balance goes astray sometimes. So when you talk about the not the norm still, when we talk about interracial relationships, what are we doing? And you said you have to build it. I love that word, build. How are we building it in wisdom and love so that it will become, and which is what you're doing in time, the norm? What can we all do to be more open-minded, to be more embracing and accepting of interracial and intercultural relationships?
When you see somebody out and about and you can tell they're a couple.
Yes.
Smile at them instead of making a face.
Woohoo!
When you see somebody out and about and they're a couple, say hello. Say something nice. You would tell your niece or your nephew, "Oh, y'all are just a cute couple." Why can't you say that to an interracial couple?
Exactly.
And here's another thing, Joy, you and I are in this age group, so I can say this.
Yes, absolutely.
You old women, see, both of us are over 60.
Yes.
You old women and men need to stop saying these negative things that y'all have to say. Because this thing is evolving and it's not something we can stop.
No. And nor should we.
And you also need to just get comfortable with the fact that your grandchildren or your great nieces and nephews may not look like you. Let me tell you something, Joy. I was in a business meeting and we took a break. And this lady was sitting beside me. We were at this table, and these tables only house 2 people. So the 2 of us were sitting there, and this young lady was sitting there, and I said, what do you do? And we got to talking. And when I told her what I did, she was like, "Oh." And then she said, and I started telling her stuff about it. And she goes, "Well, my son, he always likes to date Asian girls," and something she said. And I said, I don't know. I don't remember what I said to her, but this is what gripped me in this conversation. She said, "Do you mean that it's okay for him not to want to date somebody who looks like me?" Joy, I had to shut my mouth because my brain said, "You ain't his God."
That. Oh, April, I love this story. I love it. It speaks volumes.
I had to tell her. I had to break it down to her and tell her, especially these last 2 newest generations. They don't have the problems that we have. That actually, some of these problems and mindsets we have is because that's what we were taught. And a lot of it is not even true.
No, that's why I say, April, and I know you agree, I'm not even asking. It's time for us, not only women, men too, but it's a combination of both. It's time to erase a lot of this programming and conditioning that we were birthed with, that we came here with, that program conditioning and the sexualizing of women and all of the sameness and looking to the entertainment and the fashion and the community. That we have to start looking within ourselves and see who we really are, what we feel in the heart and soul. So that story, I hope you write about that and tell that everywhere you go. It's a good story. It's a good story. And that leads me to something else that you gave me that I want to speak about. How do we begin to escape repeating dating? Oh, it ties in beautifully, April. Dating disasters.
Well, let's go right back to where we were.
Yes.
One thing you need to do is stop repeating the mistakes of people that you've seen their mistakes. Stop repeating the mistakes of your parents. Stop repeating mistakes of your friends. Because we don't even realize that we've actually absorbed these things into our mind, and we may be unconsciously doing some of the habits that other people have done that has caused their relationships, their marriages to explode. Let me give you an example. Oh, Joy, you got me on stories now.
Oh, I love stories. Love stories. We all do.
In my younger days, that's all I was around. I remember I was dating a guy. I wasn't just dating him. I was engaged to this guy.
Mm.
And I was at college. He lived in Detroit and I was in college in Tennessee. And one day I got to thinking, oh, wow. Your mom and dad are divorced. Your mom didn't get married again. Your dad is dating a woman he's been dating for 100 years. My mom is divorced. My dad is divorced. My mom got married again. She's no longer married again. Wait a minute. What's that? What? Oh my God. We're destined for. Oh my God. I was freaking out.
That's too funny. Yes.
And here's another thing about that. When I got married, I did say I was married. Okay. When I got married and we started having challenges, you know, a lot of people have been taught how to do at least something when you have challenges, but I had never seen anybody handle challenges. So what I had been indoctrinated with was you start having problems, you get a divorce.
And
that is not the type of thought and attitude. And I had never been around anybody, never even thought about the fact that, you know, you need to try to talk to each other. You need to go get some counseling. You need to do, I never even, because everything I had seen was you have problems, you can't get them solved quick enough, you get a divorce. So this is one way that we need to stop this repeating these dating disasters. Another thing too is women, we need to stop ignoring red flags and giving excuses for these men. You know he's doing things that you don't approve of. You know he's already broken 3 of your 5 deal breakers, but you won't cut it off. If your girlfriends ask you about it, because they see it too, it's loud and clear. You're giving excuses. These are repetitive things that we do that cause us to have dating disasters over and over.
And you know, April, the reality is those patterns and how you express to us what you were seeing in your head, oh my goodness, divorce, the communication skills, which is knowing who we are and being honest with ourselves. So when those red flags come up, we can say, no, I'm not going to tolerate that, because that hunger and that thirst to know and love yourself, something is missing there when you keep allowing over and over and over the same repetitive things to happen, and the red flags you make excuses for. Because this thing called change, it's difficult for most of us. And so the way that you express that, it's really, really true. Now, what happened in that relationship? That's what I want to know. Did you end it?
Mine, I ended. But I had a young lady to come to me because she had overrode one of her deal breakers. She came to me and said, so how do I break up with this guy? And I asked her what had happened, and she admitted she overrode one of her deal breakers. And I asked her, has she talked to him about it? Yes. And the problem was still there. I was like, well, this is how you break up with him. Step, 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 step.
You know what, April, that's another good topic, because one of the things that I never, even as a young girl, I never really understood this. And even to this day, even though I understand it, I can't accept it really, because I don't know why people fall in love with each other for whatever the reasons are, that lust, that passion, that whatever it might be. And then when it's over, they absolutely loathe each other. They can't stand each other. They have nothing good to say about each other. What you did with the deal breaker and how she overrode being able to get to this person and end it, you do it with compassion and kindness. You end it like you would want it to be ended with you. It's going to hurt. But how are you going to give them that hurt where when they think back, you didn't damage their ego and the heartstrings? And that's not easy. That takes good conversation and compassionate skills. So other than being able, how are you sharing with people that when it's time to end it in a way that's, it's going to hurt, but where they won't see you as someone that, that kind of thing. I don't know how.
one of the things that I do in the beginning when someone starts to work with me is I actually walk them through some things that will hopefully eliminate these issues as much as possible.
Ooh,
I believe in let me get to know you so I can find your stuff and we can deal with it from the beginning. But if we get to a point to where you really have to break up with somebody, because my thoughts are, if you're doing things and you're vetting, like I'm telling you, you're going to see some things in the beginning and you'll be able to end it at a friend relationship.
Yes.
But if we get to that point to where you realize later on that you missed something or something crazy came up, I'm going to tell you let's make this a sandwich.
I like that.
Start out telling them something nice. Oh, and let me back up. Please don't do it on a text or email. Okay, please don't do it on a text or email.
Received fully.
Start off saying something nice about them. You might even want to throw in something nice that y'all did that was fun, that you really enjoyed. But then you're going to have to say something like, I don't think that we are really solidly on the same page. Or we're not progressing like we should. Whatever it is that you're going to say, like Joy said, not something that's going to crush the person.
Right.
But you need to firmly let them know that you're ending this.
Yes.
And then you need to come back and say something else nice. And don't just say the typical, I wish you well.
No.
I know that your ideal woman is out there. I know that your forever partner is out there. But at this time, I just don't think it's me.
Oh, I love that. That put that in a book somewhere. I know your ideal woman is out there. It's not me. And maybe you can say, for whatever the reasons, but you will find her or something like that. Yeah, I love it when you said you don't want to crush their ego. You can't do that. But here's something else that ties into what you're sharing with us, April, because this is what comes to my mind. A lot of the women that I dialogue and meet here and there, when they come to you and they're interested in interracial love or dating, period, whatever, a lot of them, I'm assuming, which is always deadly, but do they really know who they are and what they truly want? Is it over-exaggerated, or they're not even knowing truly what they are? Because I feel that might be a cause that you have to work with them somewhat to get them to know who they really are and what they really need.
That is why I say I like to get to know them.
Yes.
Because in my mind, there's 3 different levels of this. So my first thing is this, because I'm not here just to protect you. I have several friends from a lot of cultures, and I'd like somebody to protect them as well. So I want to make sure that you are not the one who just simply wants to check this out just to see. So in telling people how to get started in this, my first hot potato is this: you need to make sure that you are all in. You're not trying to see, what is it like? Are you all in? And in getting to know somebody, I can tell if they're genuine, if they're serious. And I'm actually creating a quiz for people to take so that I can see which of the 3 stages they're in.
Oh, I like that.
Because, just like women don't want to be with a guy who has a fetish, well, guys don't want to be with a woman that's got one. Or she's got ulterior financial motives or whatever all they accuse us of doing.
Right.
So yes, I need to assess these things with you. Are you willing and ready to learn some different cultural things? And then sometimes, if I feel like a person is just really got all the right answers down, I just throw something at them. I want to date I want to date a guy who's this, that, and the other. And I'll say, well, did you know in that culture that they do X, Y, and Z? Because I know that is against what this woman believes, okay?
Yes.
So you're right. You've got to see where people are. And I have this book out there.
I wanted to come to that, yeah.
Yeah, this book that talks about rewrite your love story, escape repetitive dating disasters. There's 10 different things in there. And I hope I hit most of them that people would think about. But the book, they say, I've had a lot of my Latin American friends to read it. Yeah. And these young girls are like, oh, I'm like, yeah.
I can receive that, April, because I like your all the things that you're sharing with us. When you said you have to be all in, and all in means knowing with somewhat certainty what it is you're seeking, what it is you're looking for. So if you get, I like your 3 levels, you do the firming and there's different stages and where they're at. Where does one start if they are with your 3 levels and 3 stages? Where do they start if they think that maybe I want to look into interracial love, culture, marriage, whatever? I mean, where does one begin? Because we want to end up here with your book. But where does one, by the way, where do they connect with you? Share with us that. Tell us where. I know most likely you're on Facebook, but give us the platforms that you're on where they can connect with you in the whole 9 yards.
Okay. On Facebook, you can connect with me where it says Loveologist April.
Great.
On Instagram, you can connect with me where it says April the Loveologist.
Good. Great.
On LinkedIn, you can connect with me at April the Loveologist.
Great. Those are the 3 major platforms. And there are others, but those are the 3. All righty. So then where does one come if they're starting out with an interracial? What is the process? I'm interested. I'm going to use me. I'm not, but I'm going to use me as an example. I'm 35 years old and I'm interested in interracial marriage. What do I do? How do I come to you?
Well, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to offer you a lovebird strategy session.
Ooh, I like that.
Send you my link so you can schedule your consultation time. Okay. And then I'm going to send you a little survey and ask you a few things. Then when we get together, I'm going to ask you things like, what is your ideal guy like? Describe your ideal guy to me.
Tall, dark, and handsome.
Honey, we're going to have to go a little deeper than that because tall, dark, and handsome don't pay the bills.
I know.
What do you really want in this man?
That's why I threw it out there, April. Thank you. Because conditioning of that. Yes, indeed.
And not only that, we're going to have to go past these superficial things. I need you to really think what you really desire, what kind of characteristics you want in this guy. Right. And you're going to tell me a list, but then I'm going to come back at you and I'm going to say, so what are your 5 deal breakers?
That's good.
And then I'm going to come back at you and say, do you have a particular culture you would like this guy to be from? See, that's going to tell me how far you've really thought about this. Because if you're just saying you're open, it's kind of like business. When you're doing business, you need to know who you're wanting to work with. You need to know what niche you want to go into. Otherwise, you just throwing stuff out there. So do you have an idea of, what culture you'd like this person to be from?
Loving it, April. Loving it.
And we're going to work off of these things. And then the things that I pick up from you that you didn't say, we're going to work off those too.
And those will be the most important ones, what they didn't say, but what you feel, what you sense, and what you know, what you're saying. April, I tell you, the time flies here. We could go on and on and on, you and I. I'm so honored that you took the time to spend with us because love is a universal language. It really is. And we're all seeking it in different ways, but the ultimate bottom line is we're looking for that significant other to share life with. What is this new book that you have coming out? I love your 5 deal breakers and the ideal guy and the list and strategy call, all of that stuff and the prayers that people will connect with you. But what is a new book title to be announced soon? What are you doing with that? And what's that going to be about? Let's end with that.
We don't exactly have a title yet.
Okay.
But in this book, you're going to learn about some specifics about different cultures.
Ooh, I like that. Mm-hmm.
A lot of women, when they come in contact with these fine men from these other cultures, they're just in awe. Mm-hmm. But there are some things about the culture you need to know.
Exactly.
For instance, when it comes to religious things, are you going to be, if you want to marry this guy, are you going to be expected to change from your religion and convert to his? Another thing too is when it comes to the Hispanic community, a lot of women are like, his mom is always going to be first before you. But you're going to learn how to deal with that.
Yeah.
Because you got to deal with yourself first before you deal with him and his mom. We're going to give you some things to help you assess where you are in this book. We're going to talk to you about some things that you could be have been indoctrinated in your mind. So like, I know in the African-American culture, many of us have experienced somebody telling us, don't you bring no white boy home.
They say the louder you laugh, the truer it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then there's other things that people have dealt with. And so this book is going to take you from being a beginner all the way to being in a very productive, healthy relationship, to where you'll be prepared to say yes. You'll be prepared to identify who is not for you and who you need to let go of. You're going to learn in this some toxic dating habits of men and of women. So this book is going to take you in many places, and I am sorry to say we do not have a title for it yet.
But you know what, April, thank you for that, because already all the things that you shared just now, it's going to be an eye-opener for many of us, all of us, really. And when you say toxic, we are in a period of awakening here in every realm of our lives. So I can't wait. When do you anticipate having this book out?
I anticipate being able to put it out next month.
Wonderful, wonderful. Well, then you must come back and share more with us. April, the time flies here. My heart is going boom, 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 because you gave us so much powerful information here. What pearls of wisdom, what food for thought, what takeaways do you want to leave the audience with? Because they're out there, they're tuning in, if not now, for the recap later. So what do you want to leave us with? And thank you.
Thank you. Let me just leave you with one of my slogans. Ladies, you can have the man of your dreams, regardless of your age, your size, or your skin color.
As they say in my neighborhood, hallelujah. Thank you, because the conditioning program doesn't take us in that direction. April, thank you so much. Sit tight. I'm going to be back with you in just a second. This was absolutely yummy. The buzzword today is juicy. It was wonderful. I knew it would be. Well, my friends, my League of Eagles, that's a wrap for today's episode of Leaders in Light, Love, and Legacy. Well, you just heard from a lady who has captivated and owns her audience. April Cofie. You make sure April, her last name is Cofie, that you connect with her on the 3 major platforms that she mentioned: Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. In the meantime, I'm Joy Ruffen, and it's always an honor to be your guide and companion on this journey that we call life. Because as your minister of enlightenment, awareness, and awakenings, we had some good ones today. If today's conversation stirred something deep within you, don't let it stop here. Connect with April and me. There's so much more waiting right here for you. So visit me on my website, joyruffen.com. That's Ruffen with an E. Connect with me personally, and don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel, Fashioning Femininity, Style, and Truth. Well, we heard a lot of truths here today. especially about dating, any and every and all types of dating. So let's get more conversations, insights, and style substance with you. Whether you're drawn to leadership, style, divine femininity, truth, or simply the power of living boldly. That's what April's doing. There's always something fresh, fiery, and soul-stirring waiting right here for you. We gather every Tuesday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Fave Unite Radio. And very soon you'll be able to catch us on YouTube and on my website. So hold tight. We can't wait to welcome you back every Tuesday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So here's to style, here's to truth, and here's to the legacy that you're building and leaving behind. Because together, we're all going to make our mark. So stay radiant, stay ready, stay bold and courageous as April is, and join us next week, same time, same station, Fave Unite Radio FM. Until then, I bid you adieu with much, much love from my heart to yours. All the best, always. Cheers.